Welcome back to Docket Discourse, where we break down the most influential legal decisions shaping the law today. Let's discuss one of the most foundational cases in civil procedure, International Shoe Company versus Washington, which was decided by the Supreme Court in 1945. Starting with the facts, International Shoe was a company incorporated in Delaware, headquartered in Missouri, and doing business pretty much everywhere, including Washington state. But here's the twist. They didn't have any brick-and-mortar stores in Washington. Instead, they sent in salesmen, residents of Washington, who showed off shoe samples, took orders, and sent them back to Missouri to be filled. So when the state of Washington tried to collect unemployment taxes from the company and sued them, International Shoe pushed back. Their argument? Hey, we don't have enough of a presence in your state for you to sue us there. We're not really doing business there. You've got no jurisdiction. They claimed they were outside Washington's legal reach. They even challenged the very service of process, saying you couldn't just hand a notice to one of their sales guys and call it a day. After all, they were just, selling shoes, not representing the company. But the state disagreed. They argued that because International Shoe was benefiting from Washington's economy and legal protections, it was only fair that the company be held responsible under state laws. Here's the big legal question at the heart of the case. When can a state court assert personal jurisdiction over an out-of-state defendant? In other words, what kind of connection, minimum contact, is needed for it to be fair and constitutional? The Supreme Court unanimously sided with Washington. Justice Murphy, writing for the court, said something that would become iconic in jurisdictional law. Due process requires only that in order to subject a defendant to a judgment in personam, he have certain minimum contacts with it such that the maintenance of the suit does not offend traditional notions of fair play and substantial justice. And there it is, the minimum contacts test. The court found that International Shoe's business activities, through its in-state salesmen, were both systematic and continuous, and directly related to the legal action in question. Thus, it was absolutely fair for Washington to sue them there. This case completely reshaped the landscape of personal jurisdiction. Prior to International Shoe, courts often used rigid rules. Did the company exist in the state? Did they have a building there? A registered agent? But International Shoe moved the standard from formal presence to functional fairness. Suddenly, jurisdiction became about fairness, about expectations, and about whether a company was reaping the benefits of a state's protections while dodging its responsibilities. The ruling paved the way for a more nuanced understanding of jurisdiction, especially crucial as businesses expanded across state lines and later internationally. Now, not everyone was happy with the reasoning. In a concurring opinion, Justice Black worried that the decision left too much room for ambiguity. Terms like fair play and substantial justice sounded nice, but how would courts apply them consistently? Should a state's taxing power really hinge on vague standards? It's a fair concern, and one that still haunts jurisdictional law today. Even decades later, International Shoe remains the cornerstone of personal jurisdiction analysis in the U.S. It's taught in every 1L civil procedure class. And in today's digital age, when companies can do business in your state without ever stepping foot there, the logic of International Shoe has become even more important. Courts now ask, do those emails, those targeted ads, those service agreements, do they create minimum contacts with the state? The answer? Often yes. And that's thanks to this case. So what started as a battle over some unpaid unemployment taxes turned into a landmark decision that redefined how we think about fairness in the justice system. International Shoe Company versus Washington didn't just lace up the rules of jurisdiction, it walked them into the modern era. Thanks for joining me on Docket Discourse. If you found this episode helpful, or if you're a law student frantically outlining for civil procedure, hit follow, leave a review, and share it with a friend who still doesn't get what minimum contacts are. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.